yeah, so go right into it. So we have been working on the new version of TCS for the last 4 years as the what is it, the TCS 2 task group. So working on version 2 of TCS, and TCS 1 of course was the XML schema, and TCS 2 will be the it will be transformed, or it has been transformed to a vocabulary standard like Darwin Core. And the aim is to also manage it, get it in a state that it can be managed under the vocabulary maintenance standard, so we can actually make changes to it, which wasn't really possible before. So we can make improvements to it. And let me just first see the this one. Mouse doesn't really want to do anything. There we go. This is sort of the space where Darwin Core and TCS are sitting. So on the top for the Darwin Core archives, and second row the frictionless data packages, and in the third row is RDF. So it gets going from top to bottom. It gets more structured, and in RDF you get a semantic framework. And so in the first column, that is what the Darwin Core maintenance group is working on now. So of course the Darwin Core archive we've got. So you've got on the left the occurrence core and event core, and on the right the Taxonomic core. The Darwin Core maintenance group is working on a frictionless data package, which is already fairly mature, and I think that's supposed to be, well, Greg said last week that it's supposed to be completed by September. And then also I saw an issue in the GitHub repository that they want to do a Darwin Core JSON-LD guide, which will fit in with the Darwin Core RDF guide. And if you go and you see the TCS, which is the purple bits, it's really into the in the RDF and semantic framework side of things, and it's also basically the area that was left behind by the Darwin Core RDF guide when it was when that was being worked on, because they found that you couldn't express the Darwin Core taxon in RDF. That is also there's also the main reason why we did all the work on TCS to turn that into a current TCS standard, so it can be used as an extension of Darwin Core, just specifically to deal with taxonomic and nomenclatural data. So if I go back, this is what Darwin Core looks not Darwin Core, TCS looks like now. So we got 4 classes, 2 main classes, the taxon concept and the taxon name, and then we've got the taxon concept mapping, which is it's more like it's like a Darwin Core resource relation. ship, and then we've got the nomenclatural type, which deals with the typification of names, and the nomenclatural type class was set up with the aim that it could be used both from the coming from the names in TCS as well as from specimens, specimen data in Darwin Core. And so the taxonomic concepts, like most important class, that those are the things we're interested in. The taxonomic concept is we have worked for we put quite a work in getting a new a definition for a new definition for it that really encompasses all the taxonomic concepts or the types of taxonomic concepts we have to deal with it with now. So in TCS 1 in 2005, 2006, the taxonomic concept was defined as a taxon name plus a description, fairly soon that was already not workable, because what are you going to do with checklist and things like that? We don't have a description, but there's still taxon concepts and have a lot of context, and now that we cannot. We have things like what is it, catalog of life, and every base, all online taxonomies that actually evolve over time, all don't have descriptions, and still need to deal with it in TCS. And also now we get the environmental DNA, or DNA taxonomy, and we get lots of taxon concepts that also don't have names, but they're just devices, things like that, or identified. So we have defined it as a taxonomic position that is an identifiable taxonomic position that can be aligned with all the subpositions. Through mapping properties or mapping relations, and so from a data perspective, I wasn't intending to do this. From a data perspective, the important thing is that the taxon concept has two required properties, and one is the taxon name, and the other one is according to, which is a reference. And so they're both required, but so we're very flexible in what the taxonomic, what the taxon name can be, and we're also actually very flexible into what the according to can be. It has to be a reference, but it could be or some sort of reference or a resource, but it could be as much as like a dead slip on a specimen. That's good enough. And that is, and then we've got a taxon name. See that there's lots of that deals with all the nomenclatural information, or at least information about the names, and that has actually many more properties than the taxon concept, and a lot of those properties are actually borrowed from Darwin Core. So already in Darwin Core and then TCS, and so Darwin Core has the literal properties, and TCS defines the IR properties, and then we've got taxon concept mapping, which is like more spatial mapping. So we can map it via the definition, either based on characters or based on specimens that are or organisms that are included. And then the nomenclature type, which we just we have a class for that. So it is a link between the name and the specimen. So the name is in TCS and the specimen is in Darwin Core. And at the bottom, so these are the gray ones are three external classes for access. So the top one is the why is a reference. So I've used a bibliographic resource for Darwin Core from Darwin Core here, but you can use any older class that people think that's appropriate. So there's links to the reference for any from any class in or there are properties pointing to reference in any class in all classes of TCS. And so we've got an agent which is for the authorship, for the parsed up authorship, if you want to link it to agents rather than have it as strings. And also then of course the Darwin Core preserved specimen or material citation, which we use for the type specimens. And then we've got the orange ones are for vocabularies that we need, and that are we will have them eventually, but at the moment TCS doesn't have them. But GBIF has all those all those vocabularies. So at the moment we recommend that people use the GBIF vocabularies, but we'll get everything defined into in TCS or pull it into TEDWIC. And basically the rank type and nomenclature code we can probably just copy, and then but the nomenclature status one probably needs some work. Also asked for the taxon name. It's actually it's slightly different from TCS1, because in TCS1 the taxon name was designed to be used for scientific names, but we of course need a taxon name one that can be used for all types of names, so also vernacular names and informal names and all that sort of thing. But we actually emphasize that we that later on we'll have we can't actually really define them as subclass, but we have like subtypes of taxon names, so at least a scientific name and a vernacular name. But we might define things like hybrid names or hybrid formula names and phrase names and things like that as well. But there's lots of people want that. So having said that, I should tell that at the moment we're actually only sticking with what with concepts that are already in TCS1, so we haven't actually added anything completely new. So the aim really has to be getting into maintainable form, so that the new things, there are some ideas around the stuff that needs to be that people want to add to it, that they can be easily added at a later stage. Because first we have to get this framework up. I think that's it for me for the introduction. I'll stop sharing. So here, so I can see you again. I don't think I've heard anything new, but this is your time to ask questions. Since we are such a small group, we don't have to put our hands up and just start talking. So no questions, anybody?
Hi Niels, I'm in a car, so I'm just gonna be listening, and I'll probably have to go back and watch the recording because connection isn't that great.
Oh, yeah. Well, better watch the recording of the other session then, I reckon.
Will do. But also let me know if there's anything that you need in terms of getting the new specification out for review.
No, it is already out for review.
Okay, yeah, I forgot.
You already
Not too
did.
many things going on.
Well, we are, you know, once the 30-day period has ended, and we might send another thing around it, with you know, more specific thing which we like to have. Yeah, people provide input for. Well, I don't think Greg will have anything either because Greg was at the last at the previous meeting, and also you know, Greg has been there all, with me all along, every meeting. So that's good. Okay, well, maybe then we can conclude this. Hi, Greg, you said something?
What was that, Niels?
I see you just unmuted yourself. So did you have something?
I was going to say something, but I was just saying that I've learned not to ask questions. So what are you doing for Easter? That would be a good one. And because it's Good Friday here, so
yeah, it's. I didn't know that when I booked the slot.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I have no plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Eric, I think we can stop the recording.